Soon after a rally turned violent in Charlottesville, Virginia, back in August, Channel 2 Action News started to investigate white supremacists, or what some call the alt-right, here in Georgia. Channel 2's investigative reporter Mark Winnie is live in Midtown Atlanta with the variety of views he's discovered and reaction from several prominent Metro Atlantans. Mark.
Now, what we heard may shock many, but our job was to find out what's going on in the area where we live and to give voice to those who disagree with what some associated with the alt-right told us.
My people have a right to their own homeland.
You're talking about a white zone, an African-American zone, an Hispanic zone, is that what you're saying?
Basically, yes.
It's kind of hard to believe in equal rights and non-discrimination when those principles don't apply to us.
Get the hell out of here! Stop it!
The farther away we get from slavery and Jim Crow, the more uncomfortable and upset certain people are.
Guns up! We're here to defend our country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. We're out here. Anybody who wants to change that has to come through us.
A march morphed into violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the alt-right marched into the national conversation like never before. We dug into the alt-right closer to home, found varying views.
The alt-right believes in the identity, the heritage, and the rights of white Americans.
It's just another vehicle for the animosity that's already grown so much between people.
If alt-right is one way to describe it, just short of being racist, then I'd be honored to be called alt-right. I'm not a racist.
University of Georgia undergrad and UGA Law School. Much about Sam Dixon seems mainstream, much does not.
I'm a spokesman for legitimate white interests.
Dixon says he rejects labels like left, right, or alt-right, but acknowledges he frequently speaks to alt-right groups.
Why is it right to define people by race any more than height, weight, age?
Well, it isn't just a matter of DNA. It's also a matter of history, of culture.
Dixon says he's a white nationalist.
I am not hostile to minority groups.
Who believes desegregation was a mistake for black and white, and the U.S. should be divided into racial zones.
It's unnatural for people to live among people who are radically different from them.
An answer from former Governor Roy Barnes, who told us he went to law school with Dixon.
God knows no difference between us, that we are all created in His image, regardless of the color or complexion or differences that may exist.
Do you think love one another is a concept that embraces separatism?
Yes.
Christ was dark complected.
Self-described Southern nationalist Brad Griffin.
I believe in the identity, the heritage, and the rights of white Southerners and white Americans.
Griffin.
I don't advocate taking away anyone's rights.
Says he's part of the League of the South, whose members range from Southern fried libertarians to admitted fascists.
I do not believe in the system we have now, where other groups are promoted, but we're discriminated against. That's unjust.
If no social justice groups existed to advance the cause of black people, of brown people in this country, we would still be picking cotton.
Henry County, plenty of guns and flags, rebel and otherwise. Chris Hill says as a Marine he trained officer candidates, but now he trains fellow 3% security force militia members to help in emergencies, natural or man-made. Hill admits to issues with Islam, but says he's for racial equality, and YouTube video shows 2 African Americans from sister chapters training with his folks.
We're on the path of a war, and it's not based on color, it's based on a decay in morals and values.
At least you know where people stand.
Now, some commentators seem to think Charlottesville may have had a negative effect on the growth of the alt-right. One thing we did not talk about in this report, and that is the importance of Confederate symbolism to the alt-right movement. We plan to have both sides about that tomorrow here on Channel 2 Action News at 6. Reporting live in Midtown, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.